basketball was kind of your big sport, but you were a multi-sport athlete, correct?
Yes.
Which one's your favorite?
Well, I think it was basketball growing up. Football. It seemed like everybody that was doing sports or playing sports, they were doing kind of the all four thing. Basketball, football, track, and my senior year, the golf finally came around for the boys, so I did all four then. So it was kind of fun. You got out a little more school, so that was good. But I loved everything ever since a kid. I wanted to do everything under the sun. If there was a sport being played, I wanted to play it. So it was, that's just kind of what I thrived in.
When you think about that 96 season, I know what comes to mind for you when you look back on that season?
First of all, fire, hectic, kind of, I wouldn't say trying, but it was, you had to travel for practice every day until they finally got this gym here opened up to where we could actually practice in here. I guess the whole community coming together, it made it pretty easy, because when we did travel for our home games to Dotson or Seiko, the places were packed, obviously, because they were not very big gyms, so it was fun, actually. Because it's a different kind of setting. Yeah, if I remember right, it was Christmas Eve. So yeah, we had maybe 4 or 5 games under our belt, if I remember right. I think that's how many you had right before then, or 6 games or somewhere in there. But I can remember playing a few games in here before that happened. So.
98, you go back to state and win another one. And tell me about that team and the differences between the two titles, if there are any.
Well, one big difference to me was, the Metra itself. When I was a sophomore, we won a title in the Metra against Fairfield. As a kid growing up, I used to watch tournaments there, and I'm like, gosh, man, that'd be fun to win a title in that big place. And that's what I can kind of remember. The place it wasn't packed, but it's kind of hard to pack that place. So as far as, the talent, it was quite a bit different. We had a few younger kids playing when I was a senior. When I was a sophomore, it was mostly upperclassmen when I was a sophomore. So I don't know. I think winning a state championship, that was your goal as a kid, young kid growing up, especially in a town like this, and both of them were pretty special to me.
And were you on the football one in '96 as well? Did you
Yes.
play on that team?
Yes, I was a quarterback during that season, and yeah, we had a run there. Even in the early '90s, we had some good teams, but when I was a sophomore, I'm trying to figure out which one it was, but when I was a sophomore, we got all the way to the semifinals. We lost by, I believe it was 2 to get into the championship. My junior year, we actually won it, and then my senior year, we lost by 1 to get into the championship. So we had a pretty good stretch right there where one call or one play, it could have turned into a pretty good thing. So
nice. You said basketball is your favorite, but do you think had things gone a little differently, do you think maybe football, you would have changed your mind on it and enjoyed football?
Oh, there's a lot of thought. Because I had a lot of scholarships for football, basketball, track. I don't know, it's just something about basketball that, guess the intimacy of the whole gym and everybody being so close. I mean, there's no better high than that, you know, playing in a big game and you hear the crowd cheering and stuff. But you know, I did get looked at by Montana State and the Grizzlies. Could have went about anywhere I wanted in the Frontier. So it was kind of a hard decision, especially when you got Coach King, I mean the legendary Coach King, talking to you about football and what your possibilities could be. So I mean it was tough because I love both sports.
Sure, that actually goes right into my next question. You're a Carroll Hall of Famer as of 2016, and maybe that speaks for itself. But are you glad high school Kirk ended up picking Carroll and basketball ultimately?
Well, yeah. I mean, you can't be bitter about that. I don't mean to. I guess that doesn't. I mean, obviously, as a young kid, you want to go a little bit higher than what you set your goals at. But Carroll turned out to be an awesome place for me. I met a lot of great people, a lot of great coaches, and I had a pretty awesome career there. So I was very thankful for it.
Yeah, you still hold quite a few three-point categories at that school. Is there a particular maybe game or season that really stood out to you?
I guess if there was a game that, I don't know, there's a lot of games that kind of stand out, but you know, there was a game against Westminster my junior year. We were playing for the conference championship down in Westminster, and if you've ever been in Westminster, it's about the size of the city hall in Malta, if you know what the size of City Hall looks like, but it's tiny. But it was a close game. They had an awesome team that year, and it came down basically to the last play, and I ended up stripping. He was actually the MVP of the league that year. I stripped him on his final shot, and he came down and fouled me, and I iced it with a few free throws, and that's one game that actually stands out a lot to me because it was, I mean, we put in a lot of work that year to get to where we wanted to be. So